Hello and welcome to our SOL review of A.04d solving equations. Now, we're going to go ahead and look at kind of two steps, and I put this little playbook, if you will, or to-do list of how you should really approach these problems. And what you should do is you should start by cleaning up the left side of the equation, so over here and over here as best you can. Then try doing the right side, and then you'll start doing both sides where you're kind of canceling things out. The goal is simple. You want to get one variable equals a number. So if you look, we have two variables in this problem. In this problem, we also have two variables, and we're going to have to deal with that. So I'm going to start with the left side, and there's a good amount of things I can do. Like the first thing I can do is actually distribute. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 1 is 2. And then I didn't do anything with this plus 2x, so it stays, it comes along for the ride. Now, we have some terms on the same side we can put together. We can put together 2x and another 2x, which would give us 4x. Again, I didn't do anything with this, so it just stays on that side of the problem. Now, the steps were clean up the left side. Well, there's nothing else to do on the left side, so I'm going to move to the right side. There's one number, so there's not really much to do there as well. So we're going to start go ahead and doing stuff to both sides. It's important to make sure at this point you only have one variable left. It's okay if you don't, you're just going to have to make sure you clean it up. So we have 4x, we have positive 2, and we have equals 22. X is over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of any term on the same side that doesn't have the variable. So if you look here, this has an x. We're going to leave it alone. But I subtracted 2 from both sides. So we get 4x equals 20. And we've learned about this before. To split up two terms, you divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. X equals 5. Now, an awesome way to check to make sure you're doing this right is once you get your answer, plug it in. If I clean this up, it better equal 22 in this case. Let's see. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10. 12 plus 10 is 22. I did it right. Go figure. All right. Now over here, the second problem, we have 5x minus 4 equals negative 3x plus 12. Well, the steps say to do the left side first, but you can't do anything to these. You can't put them together because that has a variable and that's just a number. So let's move to the right side. Still nothing to do. All right, so we're going to start doing stuff to both sides. And if you notice by now, there's two x's. There's a 5x and there's a negative 3x. Get rid of one of them. It doesn't matter which one you pick to get rid of, as long as you get rid of one of them. Personally, it's always easier to get rid of negatives. So I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite operation, and I'm going to go ahead and add 3x. And I can line these up because they have the same last name. So 5x plus 3x, that's 8x minus 4. Didn't do anything with this, so it stays. This disappears, so all we're really left with at this point is 12. And now it's just like the last problem we did. So we're going to get rid of the term that does not have the variable, so we're going to add 4 to both sides. Just like that, and we're going to get 8x equals 16. We're going to divide both by 8, and that'll actually give us 2. And again, I can plug it in and check. So 5 times 2 is 10, but minus 4 is 6. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 12 is 6. So 6 equals 6. It works out. Let's go ahead and take a look at an SOL problem. Ew, fractions. Big fractions at that. We got to get rid of those before we can even start to get at our variables in this case. And if you can see, there's an n on both sides. So what we're going to do, to clear out a big fraction, you actually multiply to get rid of it. So we're going to multiply both sides here. But what exactly are we going to multiply? Well, we need to multiply a number that's both divisible by 3 and 6. Well, it just so happens in this case, that's 6. So we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 6. We can do this because the multiplication property of equality says as long as you multiply both sides by the same thing, you're all right. And that's what we're doing. Now, it's kind of nice over here. That cancels out. It's an opposite operation. However, 6 divided by 3 doesn't necessarily cancel out. It becomes a 2. So our problem, and I'm going to actually have to write it a little bit off to the side here, so bear with me. But our problem is going to become this. The 6 canceled out, so we're left with 3n minus 7. However, 6 divided by 3, we're still going to have to multiply the right side by 2. All right, going back to the steps we were talking about earlier. Clean up the left side. Well, there's nothing to do, so that was easy. So we're going to clean up the right-sided. Well, yeah, there seems like there's something we can do. We can go ahead and distribute this 2. So nothing changed on the left side. 3n minus 7 equals 2 times 2 is 4n, and 2 times 5 is 10. Now, as you can see, I have variables on both sides, so we need to get rid of one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 3n. I just think it'll be easier. It doesn't matter. I could have gotten rid of 4n. Doesn't make a difference. You'll get the same answer in the end, I promise. That cancels out, so we don't need to write anything. 4 minus 3 is just 1n plus 10. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and subtract 10 from both sides. So minus 10, and we end up with negative 17 equals n. Thanks for watching.